Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jaya Krishna Balaram, Jaya Krishna Balaram, Krishna Balaram, Jaya Krishna Balaram. Jaya Lalita Vishaka, Jaya Radhesham, Lalita Vishaka, Jaya Radhesham. Jaya Gauranitai, Jaya Gauranitai, Gauranitai, Jaya Gauranitai. Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, Prabhupada, Jaya Jaya Prabhupada. युक्त महिनाम संकीर्तन की ग्रंथराज श्रीमद् भागवतम की जय, श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय, ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय, ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। Reading from Canto 10, Chapter 58, Kṛṣṇa marries 5 princesses. Text number 3. pariṣvajyācyutaṁ vīrā, pariṣvajyācyutaṁ vīrā, aṅga-saṅga-hatainasaḥ, aṅga-saṅga-hatainasaḥ, sānurāga-smitaṁ vaktram, sānurāga-smitaṁ vaktram, vīkṣya tasya mudaṁ yayuḥ, vīkṣya tasya mudaṁ yayuḥ, pariṣvajyācyutaṁ vīrā, aṅga-saṅga-hatainasaḥ, sānurāga-smitaṁ vaktram vīkṣya tasya mudaṁ yayuḥ. aṅga-saṅga-hatainasaḥ vīkṣya tasya mudaṁ yayuḥ pariṣvajyācyutaṁ vīrāḥ aṅga-saṅga-hatainasaḥ sānurāga-smitaṁ vaktraṁ vīkṣya tasya mudaṁ yayuḥ pariṣvajyācyutaṁ vīrāḥ sānurāga-smitaṁ vaktram. Word by word meaning. Pariṣvajya, embracing. Acyutam, Lord Kṛṣṇa. Vīrā, the heroes. Aṅga, with his body. Saṅga, by the contact. Hata, destroyed. Enasaḥ, all their sinful reactions. Sānurāga, affectionate. Smitam, with a smile. Vaktram, face. Vīkṣya, looking upon. Tasya, his. Mudam, joy. Yayuḥ, they experienced. Translation and purport by the followers of His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Śrīla Prabhupada ki jai. The heroes embraced Lord Acyuta, and the touch of his body freed them of sin. Looking at his affectionate, smiling face, they were overwhelmed with joy. Please repeat. The heroes embraced Lord Acyuta, and the touch of his body freed them of sin. Looking at his affectionate, smiling face, they were overwhelmed with joy. Purport. Śrīla Jīva Gosvāmī explains that since the Pāṇḍavas were never sinful, the term enasaḥ here refers to the suffering caused by separation from Kṛṣṇa. That unhappiness was now vanquished by the Lord's return. Om ajnana-timirandhasya jnananjana-shalakaya chakshurunmilitam yena tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha vancha kalpatarubhyasya kripa sindhubhya eva cha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Jai Shri Kṛṣṇa Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. So it's a very nice chapter. We will read the brief part of the summary from Kṛṣṇa book up till this verse. And the chapter entitled here is 5 Queens Married by Kṛṣṇa. And here it is Kṛṣṇa marries 5 princesses. As mentioned in the last chapter, there was a great rumor that the 5 Pāṇḍava brothers, along with their mother Kunti, had died, according to the plan of sons of Dhritarashtra, in a fire accident in the house of Lak in which they were living. But then the 5 brothers were detected at the marriage ceremony of Draupadi. So another rumor spread that the Pāṇḍavas and their mother were not dead. It was a rumor, but actually it was so. They returned to their capital city, Hastinapur, and people saw them face to face. When this news was carried to Kṛṣṇa and Balaram, Kṛṣṇa wanted to see them personally, and therefore he decided to go to Hastinapur. So this is where we are. Kṛṣṇa is visiting Hastinapur after this was known that they were incognito. This time Kṛṣṇa visited Hastinapur in state as a royal prince, accompanied by his commander-in-chief Yudhana and by many other soldiers. He had not actually been invited to visit the city, yet he went to see the Pāṇḍavas out of his affection for his great devotees. He visited the Pāṇḍavas without warning, and all of them got up from their respective seats as soon as they saw him. Kṛṣṇa is called Mukunda because as soon as one comes in constant touch with Kṛṣṇa or sees him in full Kṛṣṇa consciousness, one immediately becomes freed from all material anxieties. Not only that, but one is immediately blessed with all spiritual bliss. Receiving Kṛṣṇa, the Pāṇḍavas were enlivened, just as if awakened from unconsciousness or loss of life. When a man is lying unconscious, his senses and different parts of his body are inactive. But when he regains his consciousness, the senses immediately become active. Similarly, the Pāṇḍavas received Kṛṣṇa as if they had just regained their consciousness, and so they were very much enlivened. Now this is the verse we are reading today. Lord Kṛṣṇa embraced every one of them, and by the touch of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the Pāṇḍavas immediately became freed from all reactions of material contamination and were therefore smiling in spiritual bliss. By seeing the face of Lord Kṛṣṇa, everyone was transcendently satisfied. So, we can see how merciful Kṛṣṇa is. Here, Pāṇḍavas went through all the struggles. The house was set to fire, and then they somehow saved themselves, and all different challenges as we have heard. But now finally they are coming back to Hastinapur, and Kṛṣṇa couldn't stop himself. He himself came to give darshan to his devotees with a smiling face, and he gave a nice embrace to all of they are named here as heroes, all the Pāṇḍavas. So the verse says, the heroes embraced Lord Acyuta, and the touch of his body freed them of sin. So in the Purport, Jīva Gosvāmī explains that Pāṇḍavas were never sinful. They were the devotees of the Lord. So the sin is talking about here is, the term enasaḥ is explained, that it refers to the suffering caused by separation from Kṛṣṇa. So this is what was considered to be sin for devotees. When we feel separation from Kṛṣṇa, that is sin for us. That's the definition here. The Pāṇḍavas were suffering because they were away from the Lord, and now Kṛṣṇa himself comes here to give them darshan. So, Prabhupada writes in one of the purport of Srimad Bhagavad Gita, this is 4.11, which talks about how Kṛṣṇa reciprocates with the devotees. The first sentence says that everyone is searching for Kṛṣṇa in different aspects of his manifestation. So, this is a statement which can be understood in a different ways, but what realization I get is that every soul is looking for Kṛṣṇa, whether he knows it or he doesn't know it. We are looking for some satisfaction, some joy in our life, some happiness, some love, some contentment, whatever we may call it, but it is all Kṛṣṇa, which a soul doesn't know out of his ignorance or his contact with the material nature. So when we come in contact with a pure devotee of the Lord, this idea starts fructifying, and we start realizing our relationship with Kṛṣṇa more and more. But this is a very encouraging statement that everyone is looking for Kṛṣṇa in the manifestation in different ways. So, for us who are trying to serve Srila Prabhupada to spread his wonderful mission of ISKCON, this should be our vision also, that everyone who comes here to Kṛṣṇa Balaram Mandir is also coming to look for Kṛṣṇa. So, we should be very, very much in an encouraging and joyful mood to welcome them. Not that we start feeling that we don't get peace anymore now. We can't think like this. The real peace is when we welcome the guest of Kṛṣṇa and give them best welcome in Kṛṣṇa Balaram Mandir. So, provided we understand that everybody is here looking for Kṛṣṇa, not anything. He might be doing certain things which we can't relate for now because of his current consciousness, because we are all flowing in different level of consciousness. So, we may be here, somebody is here, we don't know how he is relating to what level of relationship he has with Kṛṣṇa, but all we understand is everyone is looking for Kṛṣṇa, and if we can cooperatively join and help each other, then we can certainly see the smiling face of Kṛṣṇa Balaram every day. They are smiling. If you see, these deities are so beautiful, Gaura-Nitai, Kṛṣṇa, all the deities are so much smiling. And just looking at their smiling face gives a lot of joy to the devotees. So this is what is main. And another point is about embracing. The embrace of the devotees and the Lord is also very much explained in various chapters of Bhagavatam and Chaitanya Charitamrita. So I just compiled few verses from Bhagavatam and Chaitanya Charitamrita where Prabhupada is explaining about the smiling face of the Lord and how we can meditate more on it. And this canto which we are reading, 10th canto, is also the smiling face of the Lord. If the Bhagavatam is the full body of the Lord and first canto is the lotus feet, and this is the smiling face. So it's a very nice purport given here. So in first canto, chapter 11, text number 8, I will read the translation. It says that, "Oh, it is our good luck that we have come again today under your protection by your presence. Although your Lordship is rarely visited even by the denizens of heaven, now it is possible for us to look upon your smiling face, which is full of affectionate glances. We can now see your transcendental form full of auspiciousness." So, this is the quality of devotee, that he is always looking for Kṛṣṇa and trying to see Kṛṣṇa in every situation. So, Pāṇḍavas were going through a lot of struggles in their life, but as we know that they were always looking for Kṛṣṇa's presence in their life, and any struggle they were facing, they should immediately meditate on Kṛṣṇa. So here they are very, very grateful to Kṛṣṇa that Kṛṣṇa appeared before them with a smiling face and affectionate glance. So again, going back to our deities, they have the most affectionate glance, Kṛṣṇa, Balaram, Gaura-Nitai. I mean, it's most beautiful. So we should be very careful in what we are getting. Generally, we cannot appreciate enough how much Kṛṣṇa has given us. Because of our conditioning, we generally try to struggle in a way with our mind where we lack many things in our life. But actually, if we just appreciate with what we have got is enough. Our life would be short to be grateful for what we have received already. I mean, what good fortune anybody would have done that we can chant Hare Krishna Mahamantra every day, we can read Bhagavatam in association of devotees every day, we can have darshan of the deities, we can pay obeisances to them. Well, obeisance is a little challenge here because somebody might step on us, but still we can pay obeisances, not very difficult. And then we get prasad twice a day, thrice a day, as much as we want to eat. So, and we are in Braj now, we are in Vrindavan Dham. So if we just meditate on these few aspects, that how Srila Prabhupada has given this wonderful life to us, then I think our life would be less to be grateful for what we have received. This is what I understand. Then there is next verse from second canto, this is chapter 2, text 12, which says, "The Lord magnanimous pastimes," as we are reading in this 10th canto, and the glowing glances of his smiling face are all indications of his extensive benedictions. So we should have these realizations that whatever Kṛṣṇa is performing his pastime is benedictions to us. Just imagine if there is no pastime performed by the Lord, what would we think about? Even though he has performed, we cannot think about the pastimes. We are struggling with our mind thinking about our own pastimes. So if Kṛṣṇa has not performed his pastimes, then it will be even more difficult to meditate on Kṛṣṇa. So he is merciful, very, very merciful. We were reading in the 8th canto, Gajendra, where Prabhupada writes in the purport that Kṛṣṇa is always attentive to give his mercy to the devotees. Even though we don't know how to pray, even though we are not expert in compiling prayers, Kṛṣṇa is never inattentive, never. So, Kṛṣṇa is all merciful. Further, Prabhupada, the translation says, one must therefore concentrate on this transcendental form of the Lord as long as the mind can be fixed on him by meditation. So we should be trying to meditate on the form of the Lord, not anything else. This is what Kṛṣṇa is demanding in Bhagavad Gita. Man manavo, give your mind to me, engage your mind in me. So whatever we are doing, we try to think of Kṛṣṇa, doing whatever activities we are engaged in. So hearing Bhagavatam, we have to think of Kṛṣṇa. Speaking Bhagavatam, we have to think that I am glorifying Kṛṣṇa. That's the purpose of speaking Bhagavatam. Then another verse in the same canto, same chapter, text 13, this has a very nice purport. The translation says, the process of meditation should begin from the lotus feet of the Lord and progress to his smiling face. So this is how we are advised to take darshan also. We start from the lotus feet of the Lord and gradually progressing to the beautiful face which is always smiling. This is quite mystical actually, that how Kṛṣṇa can keep smiling despite of all the blunders we keep doing in this world. You never see Kṛṣṇa is in anxiety or disturbed. He knows what we are doing, how much bigger mess we have created in this world, but he's always smiling. So he's always encouraging. Smile also is a sign of encouragement, that don't worry, I am on your side. So Kṛṣṇa never gives hope on us. As we were hearing in one class, that how good a friend Kṛṣṇa is, that whatever body we may take, but Kṛṣṇa never leaves us. Maybe a dog's body, a hog's body, a bird's body. We are not interested in Kṛṣṇa, but Kṛṣṇa is very much interested in us. He never leaves us. You decide the body, we may desire the body Kṛṣṇa will give, but he will come with us. So he is very merciful. The meditation should be concentrated upon the lotus feet, then the calves, then the thighs, and in this way higher and higher. The more the mind becomes fixed upon the different parts of the limbs, one after another, the more the intelligence becomes purified. So this is a process, how to purify the intelligence, by meditating on different limbs of the body of the Lord. We don't have to attend any other course. People think that we have to enroll in some course to become more intelligent, to become a better manager, or to, but the only requirement is to become a devotee of the Lord. This is what Prabhupada did. He was not giving any other training to his disciples. He was just making them good devotees, disciples, and go and open a center. You are ready for it. He was not very much into detailing. The only detail was spiritual aspect of the life, that follow the 4 regulatory principles, chanting of the 16 rounds, reading Srimad Bhagavatam in the morning, Bhagavad Gita in evening, distributing his books. Jare dekho tare kaho Kṛṣṇa updesh. That was the formula. Whomever you meet in the day, glorify Kṛṣṇa. Book distribution was all about glorifying Kṛṣṇa, full day. There was no other much things required, and the movement expanded, exploded in the whole world. And the reason was the smiling faces of the devotees. They were always smiling, happy, serving Srila Prabhupada. No other reason, and that was attracting. I heard even from some devotees, they will go in Sankirtan and bring few devotees with them. It was happening like that, right? Not like you have to give them 5-year course, then this training, and then again just waiting for them to leave again in few years. But just smiling faces. Purport. The process of meditation recommended in Srimad Bhagavatam is not to fix one's attention on something impersonal or void. The meditation should concentrate on the person of the Supreme Godhead, either in the Virata Rupa or in his Sachidananda Vigraha, as described in the scriptures. There are authorized descriptions of Vishnu forms and there are authorized representations of deities in the temple. Thus, one can practice meditating upon the deity, concentrating his mind on the lotus feet of the Lord and gradually rising higher and higher up to his smiling face. Then we have another from 3rd canto, is chapter 8, text 21. It says, Mukhena lokarti hara smitena pariṣvajyat kundala manditena sona itena dhara bimba bhasha pratyarhayantam sunasena subraya. He also acknowledged the service of the devotees and vanquished their distress by his beautiful smile. This is what the deities do, that whenever we are exhausted, in general we are, and we go to the deities in the Mangalarti and we see they are smiling on us. So this is how the Lord vanquished all the distress of the devotees. The reflection of his face decorated with earrings was so pleasing because it dazzled with the rays from his lips and the beauty of his nose and eyebrows. A very beautiful purport Prabhupada is given here. So devotional service to the Lord is very much obliging to him. So we are all engaged in devotional service. 9 processes of devotional service, one or the other we are engaged in. This is very obliging to the Lord. There are many transcendentalists in different fields of spiritual activities, but devotional service to the Lord is unique. Devotees do not ask anything from the Lord in exchange for their service. This is one quality a devotee has, that he doesn't ask for anything for the services he is rendering, because it's not a business. It's not a business. And we know Bhagavatam that when Dhruva Maharaj went with the purpose of asking, but as he got the darshan of the Lord, he said, sorry, I drank everything before. So, sorry. So Dhruva Maharaj forgot everything. He didn't want to ask anything after he got the darshan of the Lord. So this is, the devotee do not ask anything from the Lord in exchange for their service. Even the most desirable liberation is refused by devotees, although offered by the Lord. So he doesn't want even liberation. No kind of liberation a devotee is interested into it. So what happens now? So the Lord becomes a kind of a debtor to the devotees. Now how Kṛṣṇa can repay that? He's taking service, but we are not taking anything from Kṛṣṇa. So then, that's the rule of debit credit. Now it's outstanding from Kṛṣṇa's side. So what he does now? And he can only try to repay the devotees' service with his ever enchanting smile. So this is how Kṛṣṇa reciprocates. The devotees are ever satisfied by the smiling face of the Lord and they become enlivened. So this also happens when we render service to our authorities or our spiritual master. All we want is a smiling face, that's it. After the service, if you go to them and if they smile, we feel satisfied. We feel the whole mission is accomplished for us. So this smiling face has a lot of relevance in our devotional life, and so we see all our deities are always smiling. Right? The devotees are ever satisfied by the smiling face of the Lord and they become enlivened. And by seeing the devotees so enlivened, the Lord himself is further satisfied. So there is a continuous transcendental competition between the Lord and his devotees by such reciprocation of service and acknowledgement. So we keep serving and Kṛṣṇa keep acknowledging by the smile, and this goes on. And with more increase in this absorption in serving Kṛṣṇa, it keeps increasing. That is the spiritual variegatedness, as we were reading yesterday in Bhagavad Gita. That material variegated means we want to change the situation. Okay, today I am eating a kind of a food, tomorrow I want something else because I get bored eating the same sabji every day. Or for a vacation I went to a particular place, now I want to go to some other. I cannot go to the same place every day. But in spiritual variegatedness, the activities are same. The same mantra we are chanting, the same Bhagavatam we are reading, wonderful devotees we are taking association, but the realizations give us different higher taste as the days are passing, with the more and more absorption we have. That is the variety in Kṛṣṇa consciousness, not that now we have Kṛṣṇa, now it will change. So the process for a neophyte or a new devotee joining today and a process for a devotee who is practicing for 50 years is same. The process doesn't change. But the realizations are maturing. That's the taste, that's the relishment the devotee gets, and this is how he sees a better smile as the days are passing by. When he's relishing serving Kṛṣṇa, he can see the more and more beautiful face of the Lord as the days are passing by. Not that he is same Kṛṣṇa Balaram or same Gaurani, it keeps changing. Sorry. Yeah. Now there is one verse by Kapila Muni from, this is very nice chapter also, Glories of Devotional Service, 3rd Canto, chapter 25, text number 35. He's explaining to Mother Devhuti. She was asking about devotional service. What can I do? I'm a woman. How can I get Kṛṣṇa? So he's explaining very nicely. He says, "Oh my mother, my devotees always see the smiling face of my form, with eyes like the rising morning sun. They like to see my various transcendental form, which are all benevolent, and they also talk favorably with me." So now Prabhupada in the Purport talks about the deities, how a devotee should be talking with the deities favorably. This is not the whole Purport, but a portion of the Purport. The smiling face of the deity in the temple is beheld by the devotees as transcendental and spiritual. And the decoration of the body of the Lord is very much appreciated by the devotees. Like we have every day wonderful decoration, nice jewelries, nice garlands, nice dresses every day, done with lot of love. It is the duty of spiritual master to teach how to decorate the deity in the temple, how to cleanse the temple, and how to worship the deity. There are different procedures and rules and regulations which are followed in the temples of Vishnu, and devotees go there and see the deity, the Vigraha, and spiritually enjoy the form because all of the deities are benevolent. The devotees express their minds before the deity. This is how we talk. We should express our mind to the deities. And in many instances, the deity also give answers. But one must be a very elevated devotee in order to be able to speak with Supreme Lord. Like we heard from Mother Devi Shakti, how Rukmini Dwarkadish, they're speaking to Srila Prabhupada to go and open this center in Vrindavan. And he was trying to convince Prabhupada that you go now to India. So we need to be elevated devotee in order to speak with the Supreme Lord. Sometimes the Lord informs the devotee through dreams. These exchange of feelings between the deity and the devotees are not understandable by a theist, but actually the devotee enjoys them. Kapil Muni is explaining how the devotees see the decorated body and the face of the deity and how they speak with him in devotional service. So this is important that we should not just mechanically take darshan, but we should be very conscientious that the Supreme Personality of God is standing right before us. It's not somebody not reciprocating, they are fully reciprocating. Like I heard from one devotee from US, he said, once I was sitting in Kirtan, here when we do Kirtan every day, and he was thinking, oh, everybody gets garland from the deities, I never got garland from the deities. And he said, immediately somebody came with a garland and he gave me a garland. And then he said, no, this is not possible. No, this by accident this happened. And then another person came and gave me another garland. So they are very reciprocative. So we have to be conscious of this. He was conscious, that person, that this is happening by deities. But generally we think that I am the doer. That's the difference. It's not that they are reciprocating with all of us. It's not that only if somebody is elevated, very high class devotee, even with a neophyte deities reciprocate. But are we ready to talk with them? That's the point. Are we taking their darshan as if they are personality standing there? Or how are we dealing with them? That's the point. Ye yatha mam prapadyante tam sataya bhajami. As we do, Kṛṣṇa reciprocates. So one more verse on smiling and then we go on the next part, the embracing. This is from same canto, chapter 28, text 32. Hasam harer avanatakhila lokativra sokashu sagara vishoshanam atyudharam sammohanaya rachitam nijamaya yasya Brihumandalam Munikrite Makara Dvajasya Hasam Hare, the smile of Lord Hari. This is the starting of the verse. Translation. A yogi should similarly meditate on the most benevolent smile of the Lord Shri Hari, a smile which for all those who bow to him dries away the ocean of tears caused by the intense grief. This is the potency of the smile of the Lord, that it dries away all the tears of grief we have, can remove all the distresses from our life. That is the potency of the smile of the Lord. Purport. The entire universe is full of miseries, and therefore the inhabitants of this material universe are always shedding tears out of intense grief. There is a great ocean of water made from such tears, but for one who surrenders unto Supreme Personality of Godhead, the ocean of tears is at once dried up. One need only see the charming smile of the Supreme Lord. In other words, the bereavement of material existence immediately subsides when one sees the charming smile of the Lord. Yeah. So this is what we could compile about this smiling face of the Lord. And now something from Kṛṣṇa book about embracing. This is from Kṛṣṇa book chapter 82, where Kṛṣṇa meets the inhabitants of Vrindavan. Prabhupada is writing, because they had been separated from Kṛṣṇa for so many years, the gopis, having come along with Nanda Maharaj and Mother Yashoda, felt intense ecstasy upon seeing Kṛṣṇa. No one can even imagine how eager the gopis were to see Kṛṣṇa again. As soon as Kṛṣṇa became visible to them, they took him inside their hearts, through their eyes, and embraced him to their full satisfaction. So this is one of the way to embrace, how the gopis were embracing through the eyes into their heart, full satisfaction. Even though they were embracing Kṛṣṇa only mentally, they became so ecstatic and overwhelmed with joy that for the time being they completely forgot themselves. The ecstatic trance they achieved simply by mentally embracing Kṛṣṇa is impossible to achieve even for great yogis constantly engaged in meditation on the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Kṛṣṇa could understand that the gopis were wrapped in ecstasy by embracing him in their mind, and therefore he is present in everyone's heart. He reciprocates the embracing from within. So because Kṛṣṇa is right there in the heart, so he reciprocated also. So he is a perfect reciprocator. Anything done mentally is also acceptable. Like we know this pastime of offering, this Brahmana was cooking sweet rice, and then before offering he was just checking whether it's not too hot to offer, and his finger got burned. And Kṛṣṇa wants the mind. He's telling Man Manabho, engage your mind in me. So this subtle body has to be engaged in Kṛṣṇa's service. Not only the gross body. So that's the most important part of devotional service. We engage our mind in Kṛṣṇa. This is how gopis were doing. Now we have some words from the chapter Liberation of Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya. Dekhi anandita hoile Mahaprabhu Raman, prema vishta hana Prabhu kaila alingan. So this was when Chaitanya Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya was delivered kind of. He started composing good glorification of the Lord in personal form. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was very pleased with him. So Chaitanya was very pleased to see this. He became ecstatic in love of Godhead and embraced Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya. So any devotee who tries to please Guru and Kṛṣṇa can certainly feel embrace of the Lord and spiritual master, either through his smiling face or through his embrace. It's very, very easy to realize that. Dui jana dhari duhe kare na nartan, Prabhu bhritya duha sparshe dohara fuleman. The Lord and the servant embraced each other and began to dance. Simply by touching each other, they became ecstatic. Sweda kampa ashru duhe anande phashila, prema vishta hana Prabhu kahite lagila. As they danced and embraced, spiritual symptoms manifested in their bodies. They perspired, trembled, and shed tears, and the Lord began to speak in his ecstasy. So this embracing is very ecstatic. If the devotees are pure devotees, and when they get this opportunity to embrace some pure soul, we have one pastime of Prabhupada also, how Prabhupada was embracing once leaving from the airport. That will be the last part of the class. I'm sorry, I could not control it. And then there is one chapter from Antya Leela, Loving Dealings of Lord Chaitanya. Here, Mahaprabhu is talking about when all these devotees from Bengal was coming to meet in the Chaturmas. He was refraining from them, then Lord come, continue the preaching movement, but still they could not resist also. They wanted to meet Mahaprabhu because they knew that he will be there for 4 months. And he's telling, Sannyasi manusha mora nahai ko na dhan ki diya tomara rina karimu sodhana. Like we read that because the devotee is just entering service and doesn't accept anything from Kṛṣṇa, then how can Kṛṣṇa repay? Same what Mahaprabhu is telling here. That I am a mendicant, have no money. How can I clear my debt for the favor you have shown me? He's telling to all the devotees who came from Bengal. Deha matra dhana tomai kailus samarpan taha vikai yaha vechite tomara man. I have only this body and therefore I surrender it unto you. Mahaprabhu is speaking this. Now if you wish, you may sell it anywhere you like. It is your property. Prabhura vachane sabara dravi bhutaman ajora nayane sabe kare na krandan. When all the devotees heard the sweet words of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, their hearts melted and they began to shed incessant tears. Prabhu sabara galadhari kare na rodan kandite kandite sabai kaile alingan. Catching hold of his devotees, the Lord embraced them all and began to cry and cry. So this is how this loving dealings is there between the Lord and his devotees. And here, this is from Srila Prabhupada Lilamrit. So Prabhupada was leaving from US and coming to Vrindavan. So certainly devotees were experiencing separation. Oh, sorry. And one second. I'm sorry. This is from Rupanuga Prabhu. So, sorry, the phone is in ecstasy. It doesn't. Oh, it's moving now. So Prabhupada was just about to board the plane. So there was wonderful kirtan going on, and Hamsaduta Prabhu made some announcement, and they explaining about the New York project, and they did some fund collection there. And now we will read. Prabhupada said, we had a nice kirtan and we had a nice collection. It is all Krishna's mercy. Then it was the time to board the plane. Prabhupada embraced each of his men. They stood in a line and one after another approached him and embraced him. He patted a few of the women on the head. Now, a realization from Rupanuga is sharing his. Swamiji was embracing the man. Kirtanananda, Brahmananda, Garga Muni. I never expected that he would ask me to step forward. I didn't consider myself in the same category with the other devotees. So I was very much surprised when Swamiji motioned to me and spoke my name, Rupanuga. I got up and walked to Swamiji. It might have been 10 feet, but it seemed like a long distance. I embraced him, and that embrace was the most memorable embrace of my life. Right away, I noticed Srila Prabhupada's strength. He was so strong, it was like embracing a young man, a man my age. I was 27 and he seemed even stronger and younger than I. And he hugged me tightly, and I also embraced him very firmly. He was smaller than me in stature, so I instinctively buried my chin in the hollow of his left shoulder. While I was embracing him, I felt very blissful, and I felt a light. I felt there was a light, something bright and pure, some kind of energy emanating from my face. I opened my eyes and I saw Kirtanananda watching. He was standing behind Swamiji a few feet away, and I looked right into his eyes. And I was so happy and blissful that it reflected in him somehow. He broke into a big smile, smiled at me, and his eyes were very bright. It was as if some spiritual energy was actually emanating from me. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Thank you all very much. Hare Krishna. Some comments, realizations from Prabhu. mic.
Hare Krishna, just very nice class.
Thank you.
So I wanted to read something I read the other day. It was from a Śrīla Prabhupada letter. This was in 1976. So not 1966, 67 when it was just dozens or 100 or two, but now there's thousands of devotees. And Śrīla Prabhupada writes to a devotee and says, "You cannot survive without my mercy. And I cannot survive without your mercy. It is reciprocal. This mutual dependence is based on love, Kṛṣṇa consciousness." So this is our society. Everything actually is based on love and reciprocation. So here Prabhupada, who of course is everything, he's saying, I can't survive without your mercy. And he would say that very often. I'm one person. And of course we understand everything happening is by the mercy of Śrīla Prabhupada. But even the pure devotee sees it also the other way around. You're doing everything. So this is how we reciprocate in Kṛṣṇa consciousness.
Thank you. Is here? Prabhu. Yes.
Hare Krishna, thank you Prabhu, very nice class. So you say that by contemplating the form of the vīrāḥ, our intelligence becomes purified, and I heard that already. But to me it looks like, how is it? Because Kṛṣṇa says in the Gita, at the end of the Gita, that by studying my teaching, then your intelligence becomes purified. It makes more sense because you use your intelligence in studying the Gita. And then I was reflecting on this point, and I realized actually that also by serving, also by taking prasad, many things can purify our intelligence.
Yes, very good. Thank you.
Hare Krishna. Prabhu, as devotees, we know Lord is sitting in the heart of everyone. But still, sometimes we hate each other. So, why is like that?
Because we want to hate each other, so we are doing that. If you don't want to hate each other, you will not hate. It's your decision to hate. Nobody is forcing you to hate someone.
So, that means I don't see Kṛṣṇa in his heart. That's why I hate him.
We don't see Kṛṣṇa in our heart. That's the main problem. If we see Kṛṣṇa in our heart, we will see Kṛṣṇa all around.
Sometimes we are engaged in our so much service, so we don't get time to read in this one, and we don't get proper knowledge. Neither we want to come for Bhagavatam class or something. So this is how the mind gets agitated and we get enmity.
So Prabhupada said books are the basis. So first we have to read the books, otherwise we are not good for service. It becomes work then. It is not service. If you cannot think of Kṛṣṇa while serving, it's a work, a mundane work. But when we are clear about the philosophy, when we are reading all the books of Prabhupada, then only we can think of Kṛṣṇa. If I am hearing about all the mundane subject matters throughout the day, then how will I think about Kṛṣṇa? I will think about what I am hearing whole day. So Shravanam Kirtanam is the most important foundation of our devotional service. So as Prabhuji mentioned, with love we have to render service. So that love comes when we know the person, when we know the personality. So you brought a very important point. Yes, we have to read Prabhupada books first. It's the most important point. So more than rendering services. That's also a service to Prabhupada. He wrote these books for us to read. It's one of the most important way to express our gratitude to Srila Prabhupada is to read Srila Prabhupada books. That's the most important program. And Vrindavan, we have a lot of opportunity to read and glorify Kṛṣṇa. This is how we are glorifying Kṛṣṇa, by reading Prabhupada books. Because Prabhupada has just glorified Kṛṣṇa in his books, nothing else. He's glorifying Kṛṣṇa in every single page. And if we can do that, then all these anarthas from our heart will go away. Very nice. Thank you. Yes, sorry. Vishwarup Prabhu. Somehow we need a walking mic now.
Just after hearing what Shrutakirti Prabhu said, I just remembered in one of the lecture given in Los Angeles, Prabhupada said that in material world there is a difference of servant and the master. But in the spiritual world, Kṛṣṇa doesn't keep this distance. Kṛṣṇa doesn't consider him as a master, and there is no servant, there is no master. And the Kṛṣṇa reciprocates sometime and embraced devotees. He doesn't think them that they are servants, and sometime he becomes servants. So
Yes.
that's on absolute platform.
Wonderful, thank you. Jai Śrīla Prabhupada ki jai, Granth Śrīmad Bhagavatam ki jai.